I'm at the bottom of the ocean when the biggest fish of my life comes at me.
Every diver watching this already knows the question. Would you take the shot? Welcome to Puerto Rico. I was tired of wearing wetsuits. I was tired of being cold and moved to the Caribbean. Shore dive heaven, Puerto Rico. The reefs were absolutely mental.
And the first weeks diving here were insane. Warm, clear water and the reefs full of life. But what I didn't realize is paradise doesn't hand you anything. Clear water doesn't mean easy fish. I booked an Airbnb before I got there, and I chose the wrong area. It was a rough neighborhood. Most people would have packed up and left. But I didn't, because even in the hardest places, there's always light if you stay around long enough to find it. And I started to have some success. Big mutton snapper, nice ledges, and insane reefs. And we slowly started to get a feel for the reef. Slowly, things started to change. We found the zones. Cerro mackerel, Spanish mackerels, signs of pelagic life coming through. That's when we knew we were getting close.
Yeah, eyes wide, stay when you play with hearts. Streets cold, never fold, never let them know your part. Back against the wall, but my spirit still got sparks. Yeah, in the shadows, moving phantoms. Never get caught, lose your breath.
It started to feel like we weren't in the trenches anymore. And somehow, somewhere in that process, we built a crew.
I don't know. I have to get a pickup truck.
BMW pickup, bro.
Yeah, it's getting over.
That's a Sporter.
This one's got a shot in it, so we're throwing it out.
Your phone doesn't work.
Oh. Where's that?
Yeah.
We started training together. Pushing our limits and finding new zones. And we started harvesting the land and learning about the culture.
Arriba.
Facing it this way.
And started becoming a part of the community and learning more about the island and all its lovely resources it gives us.
Going for that little shore dive, secret spot. Apparently there's some APs here this summer. Our buddy has intel that he saw a few. So we're gonna go target the African pompano.
We learned fast, chum is everything, and barracuda are perfect for them. They're plentiful, and they're highly prone to having SIG. SIG, or ciguatera, is a neurotoxin that builds up in reef predators, which makes it too risky to eat them. We usually harvest one barracuda to really wake up the reef. And if you do everything right, you might even find $1. And when the chum settles, it starts to get crazy. African pompano, king mackerel, amberjack, and the mighty Cubera all start to show up. But I have to say, I don't think amberjacks are the smartest creatures. Otherwise, they wouldn't be following around their friend with a spear lodged inside its body. But we only take what we need, and we let the fish reproduce. To find abundance, we had to go further off the beaten track. Hunt in harder conditions. We had to go deeper. Strong currents, sharks, boat traffic. That's the price you have to pay. But once we found these remote zones, it was magical. But here's a video of a baby cow, so you smash that like button. Rainbows are fired, Pokey, by the way. Now, I'm gonna take you guys on 3 dives in my favorite zones. This is my snapper zone. Let me show you around. Come and hold your breath with me. Let's go down. Now, hunting snapper, you want to go as low as you can to the ground. And you can see in the distance there's a big mutton snapper coming in, but he's keeping his distance. So you can use your flopper, you can grunt a little bit, try to get him to come. You can attract him in like this, but this snapper is too smart. He's not having it. So before sending, always make sure to look around. And just as I suspected, there's a big snapper that came out of his hole to check me out. So we're gonna close the distance. Now, dog snapper will let you get really close. So get much closer than you think and take the shot. Now, I instantly noticed that shaft didn't go all the way through, so I sprint to this fish, grab that shaft as fast as I can, and push it through the fish so I can secure that fish, because I don't want to kill this fish for no reason. That's a big dog. And dogs make really good curry. Now this is the biggest squid I've ever seen. I'm on the reef with a blue water gun, a double roller, and I take the shot and smack that squid. Smack that squid. They can change colors instantly for camouflage or for communication. They have blue blood and nerves so big you can see them. Look at it change color when I dispatch it right when my blade hits the brain. Now, I love squid. I will take squid over fish any day of the week. If anyone's got any squid, I'll trade you for wahoo, whatever you want, mahi. Just leave a comment below. Let's go. Oof. Now, right after smacking that squid, I see a huge hog snapper right on the bottom of this ledge. Now, I'm using a blue water gun. I'm about to shoot this through this crack to shoot him, but I use my squid lure that's on my gun. You see the squid I just shot? I put him real close, and this hog can't resist to that squid. Look at him come right up to the squid, and I smack that hog. Now hog snappers make some insane panko. Such nice white meat. Now, for everyone who's been waiting, this is the Cubera zone. Cubera snappers live in the same cave for years, and the second they get threatened, they spook instantly. Now on this drop, you can see there's two Cubera hiding in that chunky reef. There's a small one and a bigger one that I go for, but you can't pull the trigger on these unless it's almost a perfect shot. Now he gave me a shot for a split second, but I'm not going to risk it. I don't want to drown today. I don't want to get wrapped up. These fish are strong, so I decide to go back up and get some air. So here we have another two Cubera in the distance. These are a little bit bigger, but it's a real challenge hunting these guys. You can see anytime I try to close the distance, they just keep their distance and back off. Now we've been chumming for hours in our Cubera zone, and you can see there's some big ones eating the chum. Now this is pretty deep. I'm diving down to about 85 feet, and they're probably at around 100 to 115 feet. Before this dive, I was sprinting against current, and I could tell they weren't going to let me close the distance without having a really long breath hold. So I decide to go back up instead of risk taking a shot and maybe losing my life or injuring a fish for no reason. But I didn't see the biggest Cubera I've ever seen in my Cubera zone. I saw him in my lobster zone. Now this is my lobster zone, but there's a lot of tasty snapper here as well. Hunting these guys is a lot of fun. It's like a cat and mouse game. If you just go down to the hole, sit there and grunt, they'll usually come right up to you. So get on down to the floor and I'm just grunting away and they're gonna give me a shot. I just try to pick up the biggest snapper I can. And then the snapper I was waiting for came out, so I took the shot. Now, while we're hunting in caves, hole hunting, I want to be very clear. I'm a professional dumb, and I do love to solo dive, but I highly don't recommend anyone else do it. It's just something that I love to do, and I know it's not the smartest thing, but it is what it is. Now this snapper went pretty far back into this cave and it gets pretty tight, and this cave kind of reminds me of a time where I was lobster diving in California, and it was a quite complex cave, and I took a few turns inside and I saw a light beam like that, so I decided to go out that way with two lobsters in my hands and I got stuck at the hips. So if you panic in this situation, you will die. I had to stay real calm and slowly scooted backwards out of the cave. I highly recommend you buddy dive and just don't push your limits. But let's get back to our lobster zone. Now I have to say, lobsters are much harder to hunt in the Caribbean. I feel in California it's much easier. The cracks here are just so much more complex. I didn't get it on video, but I was just looking around the reef for snapper and lobster, and this is where I saw the biggest Cubera. And I told myself I wouldn't shoot this fish, it's too big, it's too dangerous. But on the next day, I went on a shore dive and I couldn't help myself and swam right back to that zone. And I took a dive. And then it happens. The Cubera comes out of nowhere and comes straight at me. And in the split decision, I decide to line up the shot and pull the trigger. go up to get some air. Danny goes down to take the second shot. Just because you shoot a Cubera does not mean you're gonna land it. I dive down to untangle the mess of line after getting spooled by this Cubera, and I retrieved this huge fish. Puerto Rico gave me more than fish. It gave me friendships, it taught me a lot, and I'm sure I'll be spending plenty of time here. But it did break my shaft. On our next trip, we're gonna do some insane blue water diving in the island of the gods, Bali. We're gonna be targeting wahoo, massive mahi-mahi. You're not gonna wanna miss this. So subscribe so I can pretend like this is a real career.